Starter wore white all the way around the track.
Alright, it looks like they are setting up their blocks right now. We can get ready to get started. They're off. It looks like Manhattan is in the pulling ahead. A little bit of a rough handoff. Making their way around. They're right now second, and I believe that is Zach Hershey. It looks like this is ahead of us once again, but much smaller gap this time. And we take second. Alright, up next we have the girls 400. Yes, 400. It looks like we have 3 heats of the women's 400 meters. We have 3 different runners at these heats, 2 in the second heat and 1 in the third. We have Jillian Harkin and then Tiana Miller coming up. Tiana Miller, a freshman. Jillian Harkin, I believe, is a junior. And then in the last heat, we have Jillian Johnson.
results are in for the girls 4x1 relay. In third place, Mays with a time of 51:52. In second place, Salina Central with a time of 51:13. And winning today's girls 4x1 relay with a time of 49:99, Wichita East.
Alright, it looks like they're getting on the pool box, or at least doing some warm-ups here. In this first one, we have 2 Sealand runners, 2 Wichita East runners, and 2 Emporia runners. That first section is off here. For those of you who don't know, typically 400 runners have to have a good mix of distance and sprint in them. I know for sure that I'm Manhattan High. Most of our 400 runners will do the distance workout with that team, and then go to sprinters and very heavy weight for them.
400-meter dash, 400-meter dash.
It looks like the 2 Wichita East teams are pulling ahead.
Get the first call for boys and girls, 300 intermediate
They're going around this last curve
boys and
off
girls,
to
300
their last
intermediate intervals. Please report to the purple tip this time.
Alright. Alright, it looks like coming up here, we have Jillian Harkin and Tiana Miller. I believe Jillian will be in the 3rd lane, and Tiana in the 6th. And it looks like they're getting set up with this box. It's also said that most 200 runners could make good 400 runners. You just have to build up on that training and keep working, keeping a loose and relaxed running speed, or running technique, fast running speed. Just looking at times here, it looks like one of Jillian Harkin's PRs is 1 minute and 7 seconds. Of course, the goal is to always work it down to a minute or close
Final
to that.
results are now in for the boys 4x1 relay.
And it looks
In third
like
place,
Tiana Miller
Central
is 1
with a
second
time of
behind her with a 1:08.
44:48. In second place, Manhattan with a time of 43:07. Winning today's 4x1 relay from Wichita East with a time of 42:51.
Looks like the Wichita East 4x1 boys relay set a new PR today, beating their 42 second and 53. it looks like Jillian is not running in this heat, but Tiana is. Alright, keeping a steady second for so far.
Coaches, as a reminder, hospitality is available underneath the stadium at the concession stand at this time. Coaches, as a reminder, hospitality is available underneath the stadium security concession stand.
Over there. And she is coming out in first so far around that curve. Over to her last 100 meters.
Make the second call for the boys and girls 300 meter.
So she has to keep her speed a little bit to get in.
Boys and girls 300 intermediate hurdles.
It looks like she's lengthening her strides. Getting some good arm work in there. That's where the real distance workout comes out. You're making sure that you can keep up with that stamina for a long time. She finishes first. Alright, in this next heat we have Jilly Johnson coming out with her PR of 1 minute and about 0.35 seconds. It looks like she is going to be in the 4th lane today. It does not look like she has made it out on the track yet. She may be scratching. Here's a second. Alright, they're getting ready to start here. Alright, and they are heading off. It looks like MHS is taking off here, but it's mostly followed by Alright, they're finishing up their last 100. I believe that is the Highland partner with Victoria Reed coming in now for our first place. Next up is the men's 400 meters run.
Thank you.
Alright, it looks like we have 3 heats of the boys, 400 meters. And it looks like we have 2 Manhattan runners, Amy and Mortensen.
Girls 300 intermediate, her final call. Boys and girls 300 intermediate here.
Dowling, Wood, does not list a first name, but both of those are back to back, and 3 and 4 for that last lane. In this first one, we have Salina Central, Wichita East, Seaman, Mays, and Junction City all going up against each other. And they are starting off here. Alright, and it looks like Junction City has taken off with a pretty big lead leading into the last curve. Junction City runner is slowing down here, except he has a big enough lead that the next runner at Salina Central is not going to catch him. Alright, in this next heat we have Wichita East, Junction City, Seaman, and Emporia, and another Manhattan kid, Creighton and Ranch, and then Salina, Central, and Lansing all competing. It looks like Creighton should be in the 6th lane leading out. Alright, they're starting off here. It looks like Creighton is closing in when he comes around the curve, but it's a battle between Salina, Lansing, and us. I would also say that Creighton needs to speed up around the curve, which he is, leaning into the curve as well, and then keeping his stamina in that last run. It looks like Seaman and I believe that is Junction City are closing in on him, so he needs to keep his stamina and keep his same turnover going looks like a Wichita. Strong finish there, lots of stamina in that race. Next up, we have Eman, Mortensen, and Dowlingbert.
Final results are in for the girls 400-meter dash. In third place Coney from Junction City. Second place from Salina Central, Denny. And winning today's girls 400-meter dash from Highland Park with a time of 59.98, Victoria Reed.
So for those of you who did not know, 400-meter racers have a completely different schedule than every other runner on the team. Usually most sprinters are lumped in together, but then they also have 400 runners sometimes running with them, and same with distance. So they actually have a completely different training schedule than everyone else here. It looks like they have taken off. Coming around, it's like Highland Park is in the first spot, with the two Manhattan runners running side by side, Eman pulling ahead slightly. Coming around, it looks like Eman has come into. Both Manhattan runners have come into second and third spot. Pulling ahead on this last meet, it looks like Dowling has pulled ahead, moving in for first. That's a close finish right there. And Eman is behind him a couple of spots. Alright, next up, it looks like we have the 300 hurdles for girls. So in the women's 300 hurdles, we have it looks like two separate heats. The first heat having two Manhattan runners in it, and
in third place, Mortensen from Manhattan with a time of 52.03. In second place, Richardson from Highland Park with a time of 50.54. Winning today's boys 400-meter dash from Manhattan, Tanner Dowling Burnett with a time of 50.33.
it looks like Tanner Dowling Burnett took first for Manhattan's men's 400 meters. Now, although it's debated a lot, it is said that the 300 hurdles is one of the hardest high school races that there is, combining both the stamina and speed of a distance sprint runner, but also the agility of a 100.
Get the first call for the boys and girls 800 meter run. First call, boys and girls 800 meter run.
It's important to make sure that they get their legs up quickly and cleaning over as fast as possible in this race. This is also the only time that high schoolers do a 300, not a 400 or a 200. In this race, they need to have the ability to explode off of these blocks, making sure that they execute their hurdling technique almost perfectly, overseeing every single hurdle. Most of the time, if you can mess up on one, it sends you out of your headspace. You can't just rely on your speed to power you through these hurdles. You also need to focus on that technique. Make sure that you're executing every single move correctly. Definitely one of the most complicated events that we have here today. It looks like they are getting ready for the blocks. Alright, and then they are off. It looks like both of our Manhattan girls have stretched today. But they're over that first hurdle. They're going to really need to lean into this curve, but then extend outward when they reach their hurdle. It looks like it's between 2 Emporia girls and a Salina Central girl. They're coming around their last bend for their last 3 hurdles here. And it looks like Emporia is taking the lead on this one.
Final results are in for the girls' long jump. In third place, Larson from Manhattan. In second place, Cunningham from Salina Central. And winning today's women's long jump from Manhattan with a jump of 17 feet 11 inches, Julie Johnson.
Alright, they just finished up that race. In case you didn't hear, for the girls' long jump results, we have Manhattan's Julie Johnson in first, Salina in second, and then Avery Larson in third, also for Manhattan. Alright, they're getting ready to start this next heat, which it looks like it has May, Salina Central, Wichita East, Seaman, Emporia, couple repeats in there. Alright, and they're starting off here. Coming up to their first hurdle. Like Seaman is trying to pull ahead as she heads around the curve, but Salina Central is trying to curve in there too, as well as Wichita. Okay, coming around, got 3 more hurdles left for those ladies. Turnovers from these girls today. They're fighting for it right up to the end. It looks like Seaman is going to take first. Alright, we're moving on to the men's 300 hurdles now.
If I can have the hurdle hustlers raise up two notches on all the hurdles, please. Raise up 2 notches on all the hurdles, please.
Alright, so if you thought that the women's hurdles wasn't hard enough, they're raising the hurdles 2 notches in order to get them for the boys.
Oh, he's over there. Joseph, he's over there.
I have a correction in the girls' long jump. Cunningham from Salina Central 3, Salisbury from Mays in 2, and Johnson finishes 1 from Manhattan.
There was a correction on girls' long jump. Avery Larson did not take third. She actually placed Mays, placed in third, and then Salina, and then Julie Johnson. Alright, they've started the men's 300 hurdles. It looks like Salina Central is taken off, but Seaman is right behind her. Coming around the curve now. Ooh, a close trip almost for Emporia. Oh, yes, Emporia. It looks like he recovered quickly, and now looks like Seaman has taken the lead with Wichita East following. They're down to their last 2 hurdles here. Ooh, slight stutter step from Seaman, putting him behind in Wichita East. Oh! Wichita East took a slight tumble on his last hurdle, putting Seaman ahead of him right at the end. Hope he's okay. For this next heat, we have Salina Central Seaman, Zachary Junn from Manhattan Highland Park, Topeka West,
And the final results in for the women's
and
discus.
Emporia all competing.
In 3rd place, Wilkerson from Topeka West. In 2nd place, Kraus from Lansing. And winning today's women's discus from Seaman High School with a throw of 109.4, Doman, Anna Doman.
It looks like in girls discus today, Seaman took first. All right, they are looking like they're starting to get started over here. And then we have one more round of these hurdles before we move on to the 800. They have started off. It looks like Seaman and Highland and West are battling it out. They're coming around the curve here. It looks like Topeka West has started to take off. Oh, slight tumble on those hurdles from West, sending some of those over. Quick recovery though. Finishing it out, it looks like Topeka West is going to win this with Highland, Salina Central, and Seaman close together for a second. All right, we have one more heat of this. We have Mays, Junction City, Charles Morgan from Manhattan,
Second, third calls for the
Wichita
800 meter
East,
run.
Emporia,
Second,
another
third
Wichita
call,
East,
boys and
another
girls,
Mays,
800
and
meter
Marco
run. Please
Zambrano
report to the purple
from
tent if you
Manhattan.
have not done so at this time. Thank you.
A big celebration from high jump. It looks like a Manhattan jumper has set a new record for himself. Alright, they have started off. It looks like Marco has the lead so far. Very good jumps over this. Let's see how he does on the curve, making it so far. all starting to bunch up together now. And it looks like East is taking East is going to take this first win back. Now we are on to the women's 800 meters. We have Malia Jovity competing for Manhattan, as well as Hallie Gall and Ella Coffey all competing for us.
And the final results in the boys' shot. In third place from Junction City, McConnell with a foot of 45 feet 7 inches. Finishing in second place, also from Junction City, Vargas with a foot of 47 feet 2 1/2 inch. Winning today's shot put in the men's division from Lansing High School with a foot of 49 feet 5 inches, Jamal Williams.
I wore sweatpants today. I don't usually, but they're keeping me nice and warm.
Final results in the men's discus. In third place from Junction City, Vargas with a toss of 125.4. And finishing in second place from Junction City, McConnell with a throw of 134.2. And winning today's men's discus from Lansing High School with a throw of 142.4, Jamal Williams.
All right, we are getting ready to set up for that 800. While they were getting ready and moving the hurdles off the track, they announced that Lansing took first in boys discus, and then both second and third were from DC. One of the Manhattan high jump runners. We're just finishing up some of his runs and barely nicked the bar here. Hopefully he has a second chance to finish this off.
Final results are in for the girls' triple jump. In third place from Emporia, Shively with a jump of 33.8 and 3/4. In second place, Harris from Junction City with a jump of 33 feet 9 inches. Winning today's women's triple jump from Topeka West High School with a jump of 34 feet 7 inches, Mackenzie Jones.
You got third? Think so? We're flying down there though. Saw that.
All right, they're getting ready to start that 800 off. Again with a double waterfall. Coming up to the mark and starting off.
Up next on the track is the girls' 800 meter run. 800 meter run for the girls.
For those of you unaware, usually the 800 run, you try to start off your hardest and your fastest you possibly can.
First call, boys and girls,
Looks like that's
200
what
meter
Steven
dash.
and Hayes girl have done running back to back. And it looks like Salina Central is working on that as well. You typically slow down over time and coast your way out. Alright, coming around here, it looks like Ella Coffey is in 5th place for Manhattan.
Some updated team scores at this time on the boys' side. In 10th place, Highland Park. In 9th place, Topeka West. Tied for 7th.
And it looks like Hallie is trying to move up in the crowds.
Lansing. Tied for 4th, Salina Central and May.
Steven girl is on her second lap with a
With
Hayes
with 37 points.
following
In
her.
second place, Seaman with 40.
She's breaking away from her right now, though.
In first place, Manhattan with 56 points. On the girls' side, in 10th place, Highland Park.
It looks
9th place,
like
Jefferson
Ella
City. In 8th place,
has
Mays.
dropped down to 7.
In 6th place, Topeka West. In 5th place, Wichita East. In 4th place, Salina Central. In 3rd place, Seaman with 73 points. In 2nd place, Lansing with 75 points.
Hallie
Leading the
and
girls division at this time, Manhattan with 81.5 points.
I believe it was taking first, while Maze took second. Salina Central taking third. With another Maze girl closely following her. Going around on this last dress, it looks like Hallie has pulled ahead of the other two girls, fighting a Topeka East girl. And then Ella, and then Malia. Finishing third.
Final results in for the girls 300
And we are on to the boys.
Third place.
And it looks like we have Max Boyer, Ethan Bryan,
23.
Landon Knox,
Second place
all running for us in
from
this.
Wichita East with a time of 48.85. And winning today's 300 intermediate hurdles from Seaman with a time of 48.48, Caitlin Stahlbaumer.
Alright, it looks like they're coming up to the line here.
You just click it. You literally just press a button. I can do it.
This don't even matter. Alright, with 23 runners in this race, they do have to do a double waterfall. And it looks like while they're finishing getting that set up, most of our guys are keeping warm. In this race, you for sure need lots of speed, endurance, strength, and stamina to complete a successful 800. Alright, these boys are
Next up
off.
on the track, boys 800 meter run.
Alright.
Second and third call.
It looks like
second
coming
and third
around
call,
here, Max
boys
is
through 200
battling
meter run.
a
Second, third call.
Salina
200 meter
and Lindsay White.
Airport to the purple tent at the
Staying in
end.
third. It also looks like East is right behind him. Ethan is coming up right behind Max, and Landon right behind Ethan. Alright. As we're moving around the curve, it looks like Lansing is still in front. Lansing or Emporia. both of these 800 runners. As they're coming around, it looks like Mays is taking over third and kicking it in, putting Salina in fourth. It looks like Ethan has also been kicking it in. He's finishing strong, so is Max on their last portion. Seeming a has come between them, but they try to finish strong. It looks like Landon is coming in not too far behind them. Alright, next up we are moving on to the 200 meters. And it looks like we do not have any girls competing until the third and fourth heat. Those girls are Maxine Deering in the third heat, and then Julie Johnson in the fourth. All right, they have started those 200 meters. And it looks like Junction City is taking the lead on this one, followed closely by Salina. Salina's pulling ahead. And with a strong finish for those girls.
The final results in for the girls' 800-meter run.
All right, they started the second heat of 200s here. And it looks like JC is pulling out. The maze is close. Maze is pulling out right now. To be a 400 runner, you have to be very similar to a 200 runner. That's usually the base that they start at before they do the 400. So important to keep your turnover for the whole time, keep that stamina, and keep the speed the same. It's also important to get out the chute as fast as possible and making sure that you're really springing off those blocks. Alright, it looks like in this next heat we have a Manhattan runner, Maxine Deering, along with Salina Central Maze, Wichita East, Topeka West, and a Junction City runner.
If you're still hungry, hot dogs are on sale right now for 50 cents in the concession. Hot dogs for 50 cents in the concession stand this time.
In addition to us almost being done with the women's 200, it looks like we have finished up high jump and pole vault. I believe we are almost finished with triple jump, I should say, long jump. Alright, we have started that next heat of women's 200s. Strong group of girls here, lots of fast turnovers. It looks like a Wichita East girl is pulling ahead. Great stamina from all of these ladies, a very close pack indeed. Moving on to our next section, it looks like we have Jilly Johnson and Hannah Pelland in the last section of our 200s.
First call, boys and girls 3,200 meter run. First call, boys and girls 3,200 meter run. Please report to the purple tent at this time and check in. Thank you.
They've taken off.
Okay, section 2, take left.
Alright. Actually, it looks like we have started the first portion of the guys 200 with one Seaman boy and two Lansing. Lansing taking first. Manhattan does not have anyone in this second heat, but they do have some in the third and the fourth heat. It looks like Keon Taylor will be competing in the third heat, and then Braden Shoemaker and Zach Hershey both finishing out for Manhattan's 200s. For those of you wondering, our next event is the women's 3200, followed by the men's. Alright, have started that second heat of the men's 200s. Coming around, it looks like Lansing is starting the lead, but Salina Central seems to have caught them. And Salina Central finishes in first.
Final results are in for the girls 200-meter dash. In third place from Lansing with a time of 26:92, Hayes. Finishing in second from Salina Central with a time of 26:83, Denny. Winning today's women's 200-meter dash from Wichita East with a time of 26:62, Danae McElrath.
Alright, like I said, Keon Taylor should be competing in this next heat. It looks like he should be in lane 5. Along with two Mays kids, two Salina Central kids, Emporia, Junction City, and Seaman. Keon is coming up on the first place Junction City guy, needing a faster turnover, and it looks like they're neck and neck finishing that race.
Final results are in for the men's 800-meter run. Finishing in third place from Mays with a time of 2:04:39, Ayan. Finishing in second place from Wichita East with a time of 2:02:21, Sun. Winning today's men's 800-meter run from Lansing with a time of 1:59:17, Jackson Steger.
In this last heat, we should have Braden Showmaker and Zach Hershey competing against one another. Zach should be in the 7th lane, Braden in the 2nd.
On your mark.
Alright, we have that last heat of 200s finishing up here and heading around the curve. It looks like the Highland Park and Mays team are battling it out at the end. And it looks like Mays might have took that one. Next up, we have the women's 3,200 meters.
Second and third calls, boys and girls, 3,200 meter dash. Second and third calls, 3,200 meter run for both boys and girls. If you have not reported to the purple tent, do so at this time, please.
Most of the time when you are strategizing for a 3,200, you hope that you can go out a little slower than you think you should and then eventually build up your pace over time. The real goal is to get away from as many people as possible, making sure that you have a good substantial lead but also are maintaining a pace. The best way to do that is usually getting faster over time, and your last lap finishing should be your fastest lap. Of course, you have to have a lot of endurance to do this as well, and a lot of self-control. Most people try to go out as quickly as possible, but sometimes it's better to work your way back up in these types of circumstances. So starting off in our women's 3,200 today, it looks like we have Rebecca Pickering, Jalissa Jogedy and Rachel Korn competing for us, all of which strong runners. Most of those girls were in at least the top 7 varsity team for cross country, typically running 5Ks, and then now moving on to the 32. For times that they're trying to beat today, Rebecca is trying to beat a 12:35.29. Jalissa a 12:46.89, and for Rachel a 12:53.25.
Final results are in for the boys 200-meter dash. From Wichita East with a time of 22:85 in third place, Osun Sammy. From Highland Park finishing in second with a time of 22:47, Richardson. Winning today's boys 200-meter dash with a time of 22:28 from Mays High School, Bryce Cahoon.
Well, it looks like Mays took that first place over Highland Park in the boys 200 race that we just saw. Now moving on, it looks like the girls are starting to line up. There's only 15 of them today. Started off here, and it looks like Salina Central is pulling out quick, and I believe that is Rebecca Pickering close behind her. Alright, a pretty substantial lead so far for Rebecca and the Salina girl. Not too far behind though, it looks like Jalissa is trying to move up, passing a couple girls, working her way into fifth.
Finishing in third place from Topeka West with a jump of 42.11.5 inches, Batson.
Keeping a steady pace, Rachel Korn looks like she's towards the back of the pack, but it is hard to get out on a
with a jump of 43.5 inch, Ella Mongo.
Good long strides for Rebecca Pickering.
Jump from Highland Park High School with a jump of 43.2 inches.
She's trying to stay with that first line of girl right up there. Losing a little bit of power, but that's okay. Jalissa is close behind, grouping tight in with those girls, making sure she's on the inside. Good technique. Most people don't realize that the fastest and best way to pass a person, if they can, is from the inside. You can usually back a person out of this, but there are some rare circumstances. Alright, all three girls seem to be holding their places very well. or try to just maintain your pace. I will say, I think Rebecca on this next lap needs to either up her pace a little bit and drop the two girls that are following close behind her now. And try to close that gap a little bit more for space one. Jalissa's moving pretty smooth right now, keeping a good solid pace and a good solid turnover as she's running. Easy to speed up from, but relaxed and ready to go. I will say she needs to worry about the Seaman girl coming right behind her, who looks like she's trying to take her spot back. All right. It looks like both the West and JC girl are closing in their gaps on Rebecca as of right now. It looks like Rachel has moved up a couple of spots though, keeping a good steady pace with lots of room in between. Alright, Rebecca is starting to speed up, trying to stop those girls from passing her. With good long strides, keeping to the inside, so both of those girls will have to use a little extra effort. It looks like Topeka West is passing. And so is Junction City. But it is a little windy out there right now today, so keeping in that pocket of those two girls, Rebecca's trying to stay right in there with them. Drafting behind them can be one of the most useful aspects when you're on a flat track. There can be a lot of wind. And just staying behind a person, making sure that you can be in their little pocket, and that will help a lot with the wind. It looks like Jalissa is still keeping on that Seaman girl as much as she can, but still maintaining her relaxed pace. Rebecca's moving up in between those two girls, making sure that she's using that pocket, while Rachel is closing a couple of gaps.
Final results are in for the men's long jump. In third place from Topeka West at the jump of 22 feet 1 inch lead. Also from Topeka West with a jump of 22
Alright, looks like
feet
Rachel
1/2
is
inch,
trying to
finishing in second
outsmart
place.
this race a little bit. She's been doing this
Winning
since she
today
was
is
in
long
8th grade, I believe, so she's got a lot of experience compared to these other two girls on how to maintain a good pace and keep a good spot. Rebecca's falling a little bit behind, but it looks like she's just in reach of those two girls. Selina looks like she is passing and starting her next lap. Doing good. She's got a very wide lead on a lot of these girls. It looks like, I would say, about 75 meters ahead. Very hard to catch at this point. Looking back, it looks like Jalissa has kind of lost some footing. She is dropping back, but is maintaining that good steady pace. Hopefully she'll speed up a little bit here in the next couple of laps. Rebecca is trying to stay with the Junction City and the West girls who seem to be battling it out. She's using drafting, but it looks like they are pulling away from her a little bit. Rachel is closing a lot of gaps right now, making a lot of moves. She's right behind a Seaman girl, only 2 spots behind Jalissa. All 3 girls are playing very smart games with these. like Rebecca is trying to start out a little bit, stay with those girls, but they have already started to speed up on their next laps. Keeping a close eye on Rachel, she is rafting currently behind two girls, one Salina, one Seaman. She should be able to move over on the curve. But it does look like another Salina girl is breaking off from behind her, so she needs to watch out for that. Jalissa also needs to watch out for the two girls in front of Rachel, making sure that she manages to speed up a little bit, which it looks like she has. All right, our leader right now looks like she is making good time. Long strides, good turnover. Coming up, and she is doing her first lap around. From there, it looks like Rebecca has dropped off a little bit, but she looks like she is going to maintain a good, strong pace. And now it looks like Salina is almost 100 meters ahead of the second and third place girls. It looks like in second is Junction City, and then right behind her is, I believe, Seaman, or no, the West. It looks like Rachel has moved up. Now she is right behind Jalissa, leaving those two girls with a pretty big gap. And Rachel looks like she's passing Jalissa now, hopefully tagging her along. It looks like both of them are lengthening their strides. Rebecca's doing good so far. She's coming around the bend here. Both girls in sight. It might be a hard finish for her to catch both of those girls. But Rebecca has a large gap behind her, so she doesn't have to worry about anyone coming up and getting her. And it looks like our Salina girl has finally made it back over. She's on her last lap now. Strong finish coming through here. This last lap, like I said, has to be your fastest lap, and the Salina girl has really got this down to a science. This is by far her quickest start out. Looking at it now, we see the West and then the JC girl coming right in behind there. It looks like the West has also got this part down, that this needs to be the fastest lap, and has left JC further back. Rebecca's coming around the bend now. She's only got about 300 left. A good, strong, steady pace. You can definitely see her speed up. Hopefully speed up a little more around that 200 mark. Really get some extra air in there. Alright, looking like our other two girls, they are also on their last lap working together. It looks like it's Jalissa and Rachel. They do have one Seaman girl coming up right behind them. It is going to be a close finish between those three, I believe.
And final results in
It looks like Jalissa has saved up a lot of energy. She's ready to go for this last lap. She's kind of leaving Rachel off. But Rachel's maintaining a good, decent speed to finish out this race.
Tied in third place and second place.
Coming in now, Rebecca is finishing up. She is on her last 50 meters.
Winning today,
Looks like she's doing good. She's got no one else behind her.
6 inches.
She's going to be an easy fourth place. Good time for a freshman starting out. Alright, down to the last 100, it looks like Jalissa and Rachel are battling it out. They definitely left a big gap for the Seaman girl to try and fill. It looks like Rachel is speeding up on her last 100. It's going to be those two competing for the next spots. Complete battle between teammates was one of the hardest things to do. But it looks like both of them are finishing close to the same time. Very close, too close to call. Alright, as we're finishing up here, we have Salina girl finishing. Actually, it looks like quite a few Salina girls, I believe. And then we got Lansing coming right in behind. Some good, strong racers out here. We only got two more finishing up, and then we're moving on to the boys. For Manhattan, we have Lucas Holdren, Silas Mills, and Parker Dottie in a group of 23. Alright, those last two girls are coming in on their last 100. It looks like one of them is pulling forward just a little bit. Those two have been racing the exact same pace for a long time, but the girl on the outside did have to go a little faster on those curves, and is now showing that she can go a little faster at the end. That finishes up our 32 for women's, and now we're on to the boys. Here we have some very strong runners. It looks like Parker's time to beat is 10:32.51, while Lucas and Silas are fairly close with 10:51.26 and 10:51.72. We only have the 4x4 left, and it looks like it's 1 heat for women's, 2 for men's. Should be a swift end to this meet here pretty soon. Alright, those boys are lining up for their 32 now. all of our boys are going to be starting off in the first waterfall.
Up next on the track will be the men's 3,200 meter run. Men's 3,200 meter runs on the track at this time. Teams and coaches, if you wouldn't mind, as we near the end of the track meet tonight, to police your areas, help us pick up trash and put those in the trash dumpsters if at all possible. I appreciate your help this evening. Thank you.
Alright, they are off. Starting off pretty strong. It looks like Wes and JC are going to be battling out the first part for this one. Silas and Lucas are working together, but it looks like Parker had some issues on his way out and is going to last for right now for sure. All of these guys have been working really hard on strategizing a good way to run the 32, trying to improve their scores from the last year. Alright, looks like pretty set race from here on out. We got the JC guy right in front, followed by the West, and then in East. From what it looks like JC and West are going to be the ones battling this out. They're still going pretty fast for 3,200, but as long as they're keeping a good solid pace and they know what they're doing, not competing really with their hearts and the difficult spirits, but they're making sure that they're really focusing on the good science of it. It looks like those boys are going to be neck and neck for a while. East is coming in third. Then we got a couple Lansing, Emporia, Maze, and Junction guys. Right before we have Lucas. Good, strong core right there. And Silas not too far behind him. It looks like Parker has moved up as well, leaving that last position to someone else.
Please report to the tent and check in at this time. First call, boys and girls.
In seated, it looks like Parker is usually faster than both Silas and Lucas, but things happen. It looks like he's coming up on Silas right now, actually, so we got one guy in between them, and then four in between the Silas and Lucas. Meanwhile, the first place JC runner and the second place West runner are really trying to distance themselves from one another. It looks like JC is pulling ahead, but maintaining a good solid form. Behind that, we have the East, Maze, and two Emporia. Sorry, one Lansing, one Emporia. Looks like Maze is coming around that Emporia guy. As we move back, it looks like all of our guys are in a pretty good triangle, putting Silas in the back and Parker and Lucas the head of the good core pack. Now, if they're running this race smart, they're going to want to distance themselves as soon as possible by speeding up their turnover by the next lap. It looks like Parker started a little bit early. He does have a bigger stride than Lucas, though. And he is heading off to grab that next Lansing guy, leaving Lucas in the head of the pack, who really should speed up on this next lap, get some distance in between him and that big pack. meters in between him and West, but he's speeding up still. Very strong turnover, very good strides. And here comes Parker. Coming around, he has passed that Lansing guy, and he's going for the next JC guy as well. Very long strides, but he's very far out, so it's going to make it difficult when he hits the curve to really get past them and keep ahead of them. Lucas and Silas seem to be working together. They got a couple guys in between them and Parker. Our first place runner from JC is still doing good. Very strong standing. It looks like Topeka West was projected to win this meet. His last PR was a 9:42. But it seems that JC has taken over that role for today. This is pretty odd since usually the Junction City runner, I believe, comes in at 10:55. Very odd, but as we're coming around here, you can see that Parker has started his curve, putting a lot of distance between him and a big string of guys. But it looks like both Silas and Lucas are still caught up in that mix. It looks like Silas is moving up with putting one person between him and Lucas. Meanwhile, the Junction City guy has already started lapping other people, and so has the West. Keeping a good, steady pace with the Seaman guy right now. The Junction City guy is pulling ahead. It looks like the guy from Topeka West is really trying to keep it up and keep a good pace right now. I believe he needs to run for time more than he needs to run for place.
Coaches, as a reminder, you can pick up your medal.
Parker's put a very big gap between him and the next person, but he's slowly closing another gap with the Maze Boy in front of him. Doing good so far. Very steady pace, slowly speeding up. Same with Silas. He's starting to put more distance between him and that big cat that he was leading. Lucas has as well, getting in front of a guy, but a guy is dropping behind him pretty closely. Right, coming around here, it looks like the Junction City runner is about to start to catch our runners. In first place, it looks like he has very strong form so far. Same with the Topeka West guy, but it looks like they've got at least 100 meters in between them now. It would take a miracle to close that for the West guy to get a first place. He already took first earlier. I believe it was in the 1600. Alright. Parker is right out in the middle of two very big gaps. It looks like the Maze guy has seen him coming, I guess, and started to speed up on his last couple laps, but he still has plenty of room between him and the Junction City guy that's falling. Silas is trying to close that gap, trying to get to the Junction City guy chasing Parker. It looks like Lucas is dropping behind the same guy that was behind him. Keeping a good solid pace, keeping in line with him as well. Long strides. slowly but surely. And it looks like Silas has also found himself in a gap situation. The Junction City guy has pulled out away from him, and it looks like he's losing a little bit of steam. Silas is one of our shortest runners, but he does have a pretty good stamina for him. Keeping up with the maze guy that's right in front of him and working hard to not let that gap open up. Lucas has since then passed the steaming guy as well. And it started opening up a pretty good gap so far. Looks like Parker is coming in for a good solid finish. He didn't catch that maze guy, but he won't be caught by the Junction City guy. And it looks like Silas is battling the maze boy, and he seems to be winning a good solid sprint from him. Lucas has separated himself from his seaman double and finishes in front of him. Finishing this race, the last 100 meters looks pretty intense. We've got at least trying to catch a couple other guys. It looks like we only have about 3 runners left. One, a seaman runner, just finishing his last 100. A good solid finishing pace for sure. Lots of power in his arms. Alright, here come the last 2. It looks like we have an Emporia and then a Salina Central. Salina Central's pulling ahead. Emporia's trying to lengthen his strides. It looks like he cannot match the speed for Salina. A good solid race for all of those runners. Now we're moving on to our last event, the women's 4x4, or women's and men's 4x4. Like I said earlier, it looks like for the women's we only have 1 heat. And it looks like Manhattan is going to be in lane 6. Starting. In this 4x4, they have to make sure that they have the top of the line runners. That also means that they have to make sure that these runners can run similar paces to one another. No one can run a little bit slower than everyone else or a little bit too fast. It will put all of their team out of whack.
Final results in for the boys.
Although this works pretty similarly as the 4x1 Hernandez with the first leg runner needing to be a good starter, a good person to get off the blocks quickly. It changes a little bit in the second leg when they have to cut in at the next 100 meters.
3,200 meter run from Junction City with a time of 9:32.
This is someone that really has to be able to direct themselves and know where to go at a specific time. The third leg runner is typically the slowest runner on the team, but also has a lot of impact on being able to maintain a good, strong exchange.
In 9th place, Emporia with 47
As well as keep a good, strong
In 8th
pace.
place, Junction City with 55. In 7th place,
And
Topeka
of course,
West
the
with
fourth
57.
runner has to be one of the strongest runners to finish out and make sure they have enough left in the tank to sprint that last 100 before they
In
finish.
4th place, Lansing with 81.
That's usually the make it or break it point to whether or not they are going to win the
In
race.
2nd place, Salina Central with 94. And leading going into the 4x4, Manhattan with 96.5. On the boys' side, going into the last race of the evening, in 10th place, Salina Central with 45. Tied in 8th place, Emporia and Lansing with 48. In 6th place, with a tie, Highland Park and Seaman with 55. In 5th place, Junction City with 59.5. In 4th place, Topeka West with 63. In 3rd place, Wichita East with 72. In 2nd place, Mays with 94. And leading going into the 4x4, Manhattan with 114.5.
This race can get a little dicey just because, like the 4x8, after the second lap, you all are coming into the same lane. So making sure that you're handing off to the right person at the right time with a smooth exchange so their next runner can take off is essential, but also making sure that the person taking the baton is ready to go in the right lane to set you up for the best ability to go faster on that curve, which is usually on the inside. There are some cases when if you're coming in too hot and you've got another person right beside you, you will have to use the second lane, which is not where anyone wants to be. Alright, it looks like they're getting started with their blocks so far. Just starting to warm
Coaches,
up.
a reminder, at the conclusion tonight, please pick up your medals in the press box, please.
All right. Looks like they are getting ready to start off here. And there they are gone. I believe it is Tiana Miller who is starting us off for the Manhattan team in a 6th lane. Keeping a good, strong, steady pace. It looks like the Lansing girl is pulled way far ahead than everyone else. Plenty of time to make that up, though. They still got 3 more laps to complete. As they are coming back around, just finishing up. It looks like Tiana has fallen slightly behind. But there's nowhere. She was the only one that ran our 400 earlier today. It looks like she's coming in at a solid 6th right now. Maeve seems to pull ahead, but it looks like Seaman is. Good, strong finish from Seaman. Restart their handoff. Seaman's handoff was a little foggy at first, but they've got it well under control. Now it's for Maze and them to battle it out. It looks like East is trying to compete up with there, though. And now it's time for them to cut in. It looks like Lansing has taken their first step. Jillian Harkin's running for us. She's down at 7th, but she has got very long strides. It would be easy for her to make up for some time. It looks like Seaman has taken the lead, starting to spread that gap out a little bit, but it looks like East is hot on her trail. Jillian has passed the last 2 runners, but it looks like one of them is coming for her again, needing to finish strong on this last portion. And she is back down into 7th. East is leading right now, close behind is Seaman, but it looks like Lansing is trying to keep up with that as well. Our next Manhattan runner is already have started. Very strong indeed. Doing a great job with Hannah Lab as their runner. Very strong pace. She's got very good stamina. She also runs the 4x8 and 800, but today I think she was just focusing on the 400. Making up for lost time indeed and shutting a lot of gaps. It looks like East has still in the lead with Seaman behind. It looks like Maze is now battling Lansing for their space instead. But not far behind Lansing is Hannah coming in for Manhattan. We are now into our last race. East handoff was a little crummy, but that's okay. Coming around this bend here, these are their fastest runners. Strong moves being made by Seaman and Maze, finishing fast and strong over East. The Manhattan runner is catching up to last girl. It looks like she is trying to go for 3rd now, leaning into that curve heavily. She is really closing this gap here on this last portion. She will have to hightail it though all the way back. A good long stride from Seaman and Manhattan, but it looks like East has finally found their footing. But it looks like she's going for Maze is in 3rd. And Manhattan finishes in 4th with Seaman in 1st. Maze in 3rd, and it looks like he's got 2nd in that situation. Alright, moving out to the next part. We have 2 different heats for the next 4x4, and it looks like Manhattan is in the 2nd, and Langford for the men's. I think one of the hardest parts for these 400 runners is that the incoming runner with the baton has to make sure that they are maintaining their high level of sprints, while the outgoing runner is supposed to make sure they have plenty of space to exchange and make sure that they are up to speed by the time their runner reaches them. Very hard thing to do in the small exchange zone that they have, especially during a 400. Alright, it looks like we have a little bit of time before we start the next section. which includes Topeka West, Wichita East, and Salina Central.
Final results are in for the girls 4x4 relay. In third place, Mays with a time of 4:14. In second place, Wichita East with a time of 4:14:21. Finishing first tonight and winning the race is Seaman with a time of 4:12:53.
All right, with those official results for the girls 4x4, Seaman came in first, East in second, and Mays in third. All of their times around the 4-minute, 4.5-minute range. Very good for some high school competitors. Of course, Manhattan was right behind them, right behind Mays in that, so not so far off for them. All right, we have started the second heat. Looks like some pretty strong starts, especially from Salina. Very big gap already between the three teams. It looks like East is slowing down a little bit. Very good start for Salina. Alright, while they're finishing here, it looks like East has been catching up to them. So it's going to be a very close hand exchange.
And final results for the girls' teams scores. In 10th place, Highland Park with 15. In 9th place,
Alright, they are all neck and neck right now as they are cutting in.
Junction City with 55.
It looks like East is starting off very well. But West is coming around the bend.
4.5. In 5th place, Wichita East with 69.5. In 4th place, Lansing with 83. In 3rd place, Seaman with 97.
East is making a huge comeback.
Salina Central with 98. And winning today's women's division, Manhattan with 101.5.
Very good gap. Salina did have that advantage at first, but I believe they did it at the wrong spot. They needed to hold fast with the rest of the group. Ooh, very complicated handoff from East, but they are maintaining that gap still. I think one of the most important elements about this 400 is that you have to keep a stable pace at all times. You cannot slow down. Very hard work. It looks like the guy from West is struggling slightly, but he is staying right in there with Salina as they go around the curve. East is doing a very good job of maintaining that big gap as they're on to their last corner. Let's see how this handoff goes. Very good handoff from East. Maintaining that large gap, but it looks like Salina's guy is slowly catching up. This last runner has no room to slow down right now. All of these guys are the fastest runner on the team. And it looks like Wes has passed Lina. Now it's time to work on that gap for in between. Oh, but he's taking the outside of the curve. That's making him have to go a longer distance and making it easier for Selina to catch up to him and sneak past him right now as he is doing. East is still maintaining a heavy lead, but now it's down in between Wes and Selina, and it looks like Selina is going to pull out of this one. East finishes first for this, and then Selina and then Wes for their heat. Now we are on to the last heat for the last event of the night. Manhattan is running in the 4th lane against Junction City, Emporia, Maze, Lansing, and Seaman.
Coaches, athletes, spectators, appreciate your attendance this evening at our invitational. We would appreciate if each one of you could police your areas and help with trash and put that trash in receptacles.
Not many people know, but usually if you are a good hurdler, you might be very good at the 4x.
At the end of tonight's track
This
meet here in the press.
stamina that you may have from the 300 that you do while you do hurdles is very good. Plus, the extra energy you would have for pushing yourself over those hurdles would be implemented in your running instead of jumping. Most of the time, they will also train with hurdlers to make sure that they are learning the flexibility and mobility to run fast for this long of time. I know that Manhattan has definitely focused on this in the past couple of weeks, making sure that their guys are ready for this 4x4. Alright, it looks like they're getting ready to line up here on the blocks.
Medals on the other side. All the way around again.
Be careful while you walk there. Tell them to stop talking so loudly, please. All right, we have started off here. All right. It looks like paces so far. It looks like seated and Manhattan. Very good paces so far. Finishing out here, it looks like Lansing might be catching up, or Emporia. Very similar outfits going today. Ooh, struggling with our handoff from Manhattan. Making sure that we cannot go too early for the second lead. This is the point where they start to cut in. It looks like Zach Hershey is running for us right now against the Emporia guy. Mace is trying to catch up. Zach needs to make sure that he is keeping that turnover still. He has a very strong form, but a very close-off upper body, making sure that he needs to use his arms while running. In this is why Maze is catching up. On the video, you can probably see the difference in arm movement. But as Zach is finishing, he's starting to get it more and more, fixing in the running form. And they are handing off to their third person now. Very strong handoff from both teams. Emporia is starting off very strong, completing that gap. It looks like Creighton has taken over the Manhattan side, but Mace is not too far behind him. Creighton has a very good pace and very good stamina, but he does have to make sure that he's going the right speed at all times. Bending a little bit more into the curve. And then straightening back out as he's finishing his last 100 and handing off to their anchor. He needs to really work on speed work as he's going through this last 100 to make sure that he can give them the best possible handoff. They are going to hand off in the first lane, with Maze handing off in the second. Never a good sign. Trying to finish strong, their last runner, leaving a little too heavy into that last curve. The Manhattan has fallen back down to third, and the Maze is holding ahead, trying to go for first. It looks like Emporia has already been there for a while. Maze is coming around that bend, and for sure working on it. But it looks like Manhattan is coming up on Emporia as well. Very tough race right here, right now. This last 100 as they're running, it's down to Manhattan and Maze, and it looks like it's going to be Manhattan. Very strong finish from all three teams as the rest of those teams are coming in. We will get those results out to you as soon as possible.
Final results are in for the boys 4x4 relay. In third, Emporia with a time of 3:34.21. In second place, Mays with a time of 3:31.29. Winning tonight's men's division in the 4x4 Manhattan with a time of 3:31.12.
All right, we got those final results in for you for the last 4x4. In third place was Emporia. And in second, Mays. And in first, Manhattan with a time of 3 minutes, 31 seconds, and 12.
Emporia with 50.
Thank you so much for listening and watching tonight. I hope you guys have a great night.
And Highland Park both with 55. In fifth place, Junction City with 60.5 points. In fourth place,